This week was a big week for us HHN fans as Universal dropped all of the original houses coming to HHN 35. Halloween Horror Nights 35 starts up in only 9 weeks, and before this week, we only had been given 3 of our houses. It felt like the announcements were only just leaking in, but this week, Universal decided to fully open the tap and flood us with some house confirmations. Just as they did last year, they decided to give us all of our original houses in one awesome week. And I can tell you, none of us are complaining about having such a busy and chaotic drop week. Let's break down all of the original houses that we were told about this week, and we can take a look at Horror Night Nightmare's most recent spec map to see how these stacked up with speculations. At the end of the video, I'll give you my personal ranking for all of these original houses coming to HHN 35, and you can tell me yours in the comments below. First up, on Monday, June 22nd, HR Blood and Guts Presents A Halloween Fright-tacular was announced. Here's what we know about the house. Your favorite Maitre de Macabre returns to WKNB with a special Halloween scare-a-thon. Tune in to this haunted house complete with ghouls, gore, and all the frights that keep you coming back for more. This one has a lot of us pretty excited, but if you're not all caught up with HHN lore, you might be like, what the heck is this? Well, here's some history on HR Blood and Guts to get you up to speed. HR Blood and Guts is the alter ego of Larry Kurtzberg, the host of a late-night B-movie broadcast on WKNB TV. Larry, who got way too into his hosting gig and started to only want to be referred to as HR Blood and Guts, hosted a holiday horror special that got more and more unhinged as time went on. When it was about to be cancelled for being too deranged, Larry kidnapped the production crew and turned the last show into a horrifying broadcast. He first appeared in HHN in 2011 with his own house, HR Blood and Guts Presents Holidays of Horror. And though he's made some slight brief appearances since then, this will be his real return to HHN. This year's house will serve as a sequel to his 2011 house. Universal tells us, 15 years after his untimely arrest, Carrie's favorite creature feature host has returned to the derelict WKNB station on Halloween night to present an all-new sinister showcase. I gotta say, I'm pretty excited about this house. With this being an anniversary year, I was hoping they'd bring back some past lore from other HHNs, and HR Blood and Guts fits right in there. Ryan and I didn't really get into HHN until 2015, so we missed his first appearance. So I love that we get to get introduced to him during his reintroduction to HHN. This house has been speculated on Horror Night Nightmare spec maps for a while now, so it's great to see it finally get confirmed. Next up, on Wednesday, June 24th, Universal announced Madlands, Caged Cannibals. In this house, a defunct zoo is now the deadly domain of warring cannibal factions that have taken their animal instincts to extremes. They're territorial, they're hungry, and your lunch. Laura Sauls, one of the directors at Universal, gave us some more details about this house. She described it as being a post-apocalyptic zoo that is infested by cannibals because animals are extinct. These cannibals take on the tropes and traits of the animals that once lived in this zoo, and we, the guests, are the prey. This house sounds interesting, but I can't help to feel like Universal might be taking the easy way out on this. On speculation maps, we all thought this was going to be a haunted zoo, which it is, but that it was going to be terrifying animals that hunted us, not just other humans. Though I think the sets will be fantastic in this house. I was looking forward to seeing a plethora of cool costumes and wild animals that are hunting us. Last year, we were given some incredible cat costumes in the Cat Lady Scare Zone, so I was hoping that this house would kind of be a continuation of that. It'll still be cool, but let's be real, it's a lot easier and cheaper to dress up humans instead of create new cool wild animal costumes. I'm still sure it will be cool and quite scary, I just can't help but feel slightly let down by this announcement. Next up, on Thursday, June 25th, Cybergoria was announced. Its description says, awaken thousands of years in the future in this haunted house and brave a cold world driven by machines with the singular goal, to make you live forever, even if it kills you. This gives me post-apocalyptic Terminator vibes, which I am totally here for. Though I'm sure it might be a little one note, that note will at least be scary, which is kinda all I ask for. Futuristic cyborgs trying to hunt humans and do experiments on us? I'm here for that. When this was announced, I was slightly let down because I totally thought this was going to be taking the place of the Alien on the spec maps, and I was so looking forward to a house based off alien abductions. I figured this was going to be in place of that house, and our last announced house was going to be based off the 2019 Scare Zone Vanity Ball. But on Friday, June 26th, Universal announced that the last original house coming to HHN 35 is going to be Invasion, Alien Abduction. So it looks like Cybergoria is taking the place of the radioactive DNA on the spec map, and the alien house speculation is indeed true. And I gotta say, I am so happy that this last house is Invasion Alien Abduction. The description of this house is, make contact with horrors from worlds unknown in this haunted house, where a ship full of greys have torn apart a remote homestead in search of fresh test subjects. Universal has stated that this is not a sequel to the Scare Zone from 2017, but it is going to be a love letter to classic HHN. They say that long-term fans are going to love the vibes of this house, and say, hey, this reminds me of when I first came to the park. They also said that they're going to use cool new techniques to imitate certain situations in the house, like vibrations in the floor and stuff to kind of simulate the spaceship tearing the house apart. The further you go into the house, the more destruction you'll see. This sounds amazing and terrifying, and I cannot wait. The sets, the alien costumes, the new scare techniques, this is going to be an amazing house. Michael Aiello, the Senior Director of Entertainment and Creative Development, confirmed that this is all of the originals coming this year, and that the rest of our IP houses, scare zones, and shows are going to be announced soon. Overall, I think this is a pretty decent lineup, and it has me very excited. I think these could be the best original houses since HHN 32, when we had Blood Moon, Dueling Dragons, Yeti Campground Kills, The Darkest Deal, and our introduction to Dr. Oddfellow with Dr. Oddfellow's Twisted Origins. I'm sure this year's houses will be incredible, but they do have some big shoes to fill compared to the last few years of originals. Hopefully, they live up to the hype. Speaking of hype, it's time I rank this year's original houses based off my own personal hype. This is based solely off the names and descriptions that we have been given so far. And I'm sure this list will look very different after I actually get the chance to experience these houses. Last year, I had Hatchet & Chains ranked 8th out of 10 of all of the houses in my pre-event blind rankings, and it ended up being my third favorite house of the year. So, things will change. Anyways, let's get to it. At 5, I have Madlands. As I mentioned earlier, I think the sets of this house will be great, but I just feel like if it were animals instead of humans, this house would have been much higher on my list. At 4, we have HR Blood and Guts. I'm excited to walk through a house based in HHN lore and can't wait to see what he's all about for ourselves, but there are just other originals that I think I'm more looking forward to. At number 3, I have Cybergoria. I think this house will have amazing sets and costumes with a creepy and cool storyline to boot. I'm expecting last year's Fallout house, but on steroids. Like, better costumes, better scares, kind of better everything. At number 2, I have Jack and Oddfellow Chaos and Control. Even though we've been huge HHN fans for over a decade, we've still never been to an event that Jack was at, let alone gotten to experience a Jack house. Plus, this house being the prologue to the whole theme of this year has me extra excited. And of course, this house is actually 26 years in the making, with the showdown between Jack the Clown and Dr. Oddfellow, and I cannot wait to get to experience it. I actually expected this to be my number 1 most hyped original house, but Friday's announcement really threw me for a loop. So now, my number 1 most hyped original house is Invasion Alien Abduction. As excited as I am to see the background lore come to life for Jack and Oddfellow, I am more excited to get to go through our first alien house at HHN Orlando. We actually got to go through the Alien vs. Predator house in 2015 in HHN Hollywood, which was actually our first year going to HHN. But since then, we have been craving the return of aliens to the event. So now, I turn it over to you. What do you think about the roster for the original houses this year? Which one are you most excited for? And what's your hype ranking for the originals? Let me know in the comments below. I want to know what you're looking forward to at HHN 35. Thanks again for coming with me and talking about all of our confirmations for our original houses at HHN 35. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like as it will really help the channel. And if you want more theme park content and more HHN content, please subscribe. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Canuck Park Hopper for more theme park fun. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the fog.